So I remember a little bit under a year ago, me and my parents needed to get a textbook for one of my college classes. We were new to the process, so we were frantically looking for how and where to find the product. Eventually we did, and it ended up costing around $40. Hi, my name is Travis, and I'm going to tell you about the rising prices of textbooks in college. They're too high. Immediate action must be taken to limit the stress and money loss that comes from too high of textbook prices for college students. This is something that demands immediate attention as it hinders access to education and is unfair to those with differing financial situations. People with lower income are going to suffer worse. So, why is this relevant? Why does this matter to you guys? You are all college students like me. Being a college student means you probably had to buy a textbook here and there, and it was probably too expensive. To preview my main points, I'm going to talk about the economic burden of textbook prices, the impact on students' academic success, as well as the solutions and avenues for change. But to begin, I'm going to talk about the economic burden of textbook prices. Let's first look at a peer-reviewed article from Portal Libraries in the Academy. The article includes a study made in 2009 and is titled Student Strategies for Coping with the Textbook Costs and the Role of Library Course Reserves. The study was made by a variety of students who attended Oregon State University, who surveyed other students just to see how much money they spent on textbooks. And according to the study, 40% of the OSU students responded that they spend $150 to $250 per term, 28% spend $251 to $300, and 22% spend more than $300. Most students attend classes in 3 terms of an academic year, therefore almost half of them are spending at least $750 on textbooks. This is going to impact everybody. This is not good. If everybody's spending $750 on textbooks, coupled with everything else you're spending in college, that's just going to put too much of a burden on your bank account. And of course, this is going to be worse based on your income. Imagine if you're someone with less money than someone else and you're forced to spend nearly $800 on a textbook. You know, you're already struggling with everything else, and now you have to worry about a book. That's just not fair. Now let's move on to my second point, which is the mental stress that comes with it. Now this is just a huge cycle that comes, as you can see. You're paying for the books, first you're paying for school, now you're paying for the books. The money is just piling up at this point. Now if you have no money, it means you have no access to the book. This means your grades are going to suffer because you don't have the necessary course materials, which is just going to lead to even more mental stress, which is just going to make everything worse. To move on, let's look at an article posted in March 2023 by Business Insider, which addressed this issue. It's stating that according to a 2016 study by Student Public Interest Research Groups, surveying over 4,700 students, found that 90% of students respondents said they were worried that not purchasing textbooks or access code would negatively impact their overall course grades. There you go. Now, some solutions to this obviously would just be to lower the prices, but that's easier said than done. But to begin with this, I'm going to tell you about a 2017 peer-reviewed article titled Open Source for Educational Materials Making Textbooks Cheaper and Better, from Open, the Philosophy and Practices that are Revolutionizing Education and Science in 2017. This article mainly discusses how textbooks are the only expense that professors have a control on. This means that if the course doesn't require a textbook, the professors shouldn't make them have it. You know, they shouldn't require them, and if they do, they can provide them in other ways, such as a PDF or a link or some other type of mechanism. Another way to solve this, the GV bookstore can become nonprofit to lower the cost to students, and you can limit or eliminate the sales tax on textbooks for students. This is going to make textbooks cheaper and just better for everybody. Now let's visualize this. Obviously this impacts everybody. It's worse based on your income, no access is bad, and it's a mental strain. This all is just going to pile up to make an even bigger issue even bigger. everything is going to pile up on top of it and make everything worse. But here's something you can do to help this problem. You can email professors to get other students to do so. Say, hey, if I don't need this book, do I really need it to pass your course? And if that works, you can get parents and adults involved and get them to email professors and maybe even the school. You should now know more about the scope of textbook prices and how the issue can be addressed. It's clear this needs immediate action to ensure equal opportunity for everybody. Now, to close my story, I was happy that I was prepared. I was feeling good heading to my first class, only to realize that my professor supplied the PDF of the book online. So I ended up wasting around $40 on something I didn't need, and that was one of the cheaper books. Thank you for listening to my presentation.